It's interesting how YouTube um, it naturally becomes like a TV station, and it makes me wonder if maybe you know the way how channels become TV channels, literally, like people offer content at certain days of the week. They almost like promise content to their subscribers. When they fail to provide the content, they upload an apology video. We have introduction videos at the front page of the channel, so YouTube channels look like their own little TV station. Um, and it made me wonder, what if the way it has developed, because obviously YouTube wasn't like this at the beginning, isn't so much that it's imitating TV, but that it shows how both YouTube and TV are imitating the same thing, which is uh, neither of them. TV came before, but it's not the inspiration for YouTube. It's as if we had a desire for video. Like, as humans, we had photography, but we wanted the photography to move. Uh, and and we had TV. And then TV sort of almost naturally developed itself into this format of channels and programs at specific times, uh, which is the same way YouTube has developed. And it makes me wonder, what is it about this format that we enjoy? And what is it about this format that maybe is limiting? Because, of course, on the one hand, you can understand it, how if you upload, if you start gathering a following of viewers, and yet you continue treating your channel as if it's literally just uh, your private video space, then you're missing the opportunity for a conversation with the audience. But at the same time, the tradition of like apology videos, like, I'm sorry I didn't make my Monday video, and it won't happen again. It's very interesting how sometimes in the comment section you can see how the audience has completely accepted its position of power in that respect, because these apology videos are expected, and when they arrive, well, you can tell that the audience actually is angry sometimes when the Monday video didn't arrive on time or stuff like that. So YouTube is seen as a TV channel, which is interesting because it's no longer exactly a blog. It's not like a blogger is making stuff and the audience is, can peek through like a voyeur, but it's like the opposite way around. The audience is on the stage and the content is made sort of towards it. But I wonder what relation that could have with the way media has evolved. Like what I was saying about photography. We desired photography to move. We wanted it to be more realistic. Then we wanted TV to be in color. Now we're making virtual reality. It's constantly going towards. It's getting more and more like real life. Where does the whole audience and program slots fall? Because what it does kind of limit the usage of YouTube as an entirely unrestrained, unedited kind of domain. it's almost as if now, if someone becomes successful on YouTube and they don't monetize their videos, it's as if even the audience feels there's something obscene in that. It's strange, that if someone becomes an extremely popular YouTuber, but doesn't edit their videos carefully and doesn't have like a theme tune or a good camera, for example, maybe have these things become prerequisites now? Like maybe you just can't possibly ever become a mainstream YouTuber without that sort of, that sheen of perfection, of good camera, good lights, regular content, not too much and not too little. It's all decided by the desires of the audience, but the audience's desires aren't their own. There's this sort of a dual thing where, like in Hollywood blockbusters or something, that a blockbuster only becomes a blockbuster if the audience goes to see it massively. If an audience doesn't like a film that was supposed to be a blockbuster, it won't be. It'll be a flop. It'll fail at the box office in the way that it intended to. It'll fail by its high standards, right? So any movie that becomes a blockbuster, when we see movies that are blockbusters, of course, it's tempting to say, well, they are designed to be blockbusters, right? So a lot of money has been spent, a lot of meetings have been held to decide exactly what type of movie to make, which will be a blockbuster, right? Decisions made in the writing room. What kind of character will the audience empathize with, etc. So of course there's that design, but I mean that means nothing if it doesn't work. The only way it can work is if the audience, and in a massive scale, goes to see that movie. And if it does, it's because it does appeal to something. It appeals to some desire or fear of the audience. So it acts as a dream. It acts as a representation of fear and desire, but it acts as a dream in its more in its most sense, a dream as censor, right? So there are the deeper dreams that bring a burst of something repressed, but then there are the dreams that censor it and try to hold it down. It seems like that's more the attitude of a blockbuster, and it's the audience who, the balance between that is between both parties, where the makers design that, but they design it with the audience fears and desires in mind. But the audience's fears and desires are in sort of they're part of the zeitgeist of the historical moment and the ideological sort of atmosphere of their own countries, which doesn't have to do so much with them or with anyone. But applying it more to the realm of YouTube and blogging on the internet, it's interesting how that again, I think the dream metaphor maybe is the apt one, that somehow artistic expression as being just expression in general, like painting, photography, it, on the one hand, it seems like what we want to express are our fears and desires, or what we express are our fears and desires. So art is like a dream. Art is an expression of fears and desires. But at the same time, it constantly wants to become more realistic. It's almost like if it's a dream that wants to become lucid. It wants to enter into that realm of virtual reality. And then it doesn't want to stay there. You know, you can tell the realm of the desire of virtual reality is to become more real than virtual reality. The desire of this process is this sort of the desire for some singularity, as if in a secular society, the apocalypse gets replaced with the singularity as a collective unconscious symbol. So they act as dreams, but then at the same time, they aim towards this realism, towards this lucidity, and as if the way YouTube, the way the internet evolves, and I think there is a key thing here, where it's common to look at the internet and say, well, the internet has had a lot of negative effects, like it's sort of everyone's, you know, everyone's obsessed with appearances in social media, and everyone's in sort of isolating themselves into this world of vanity, whatever, you know, just the typical criticisms of the way the internet has negatively affected culture. And you can't help but feel that it hasn't created these attitudes. It's simply shown them to us. That the internet hasn't brought with it anything good or bad. It's amplified something. So again, it's this theme of lucidity. It's made the dream more vivid, more real. It's brought it into consciousness. So some sort of repressed fear and desire, which wasn't being expressed, is now being expressed.